Hello everyone. Previously we had discussed about the this one advanced error handling mechanism using try, catch and finally. Today we'll be discussing about the module resolution and tree shaking. So we have already discussed about ES6 imports as well as the export, default exports as well along with the export. So today we'll be discussing about the module resolution and the tree shaking. So what is module resolution? Module resolution basically determines how imports are resolved, while tree shaking eliminates the unused code for the better performance, right? Module resolution in simple terms. So basically it will determine how imports are resolved. And what does tree shaking do? It eliminates the unused code for the better performance. So let's try to implement the same with two examples. The first one, we will go with a simple example, named versus default imports, and the second one will be going with the dynamic import, right? So first what I'll do, I have created two files. One is two JavaScript files. One I have named utils and app, right? So I'll just come to util JS file. I'll just come here. Let me give export const add. Let me give simple add function here. So I'll just give here a plus b. The same thing. Let me copy same thing. I'll just consider very simple example here. Instead of the add, I'll just consider here subtract. Instead of plus, let's make this minus. I hope this is clear. So next I'll just come to app.js. Here let me add. So first let's include the add function within the import from utils. It is automatically getting imported, right? So next let's log something here. I'll just come here, console log of add function we have imported, right? I'll just give add of let's consider two numbers 5, 3. This has to give us the output 8, right? Let's see here. I'll just run here node app.js. So what is happening here? Divide uncaught exception. It is imported from C. So okay, we are getting the this one. Kept find module imported from this one. Oh, we have to give here utils.js, I think. Complete file name. So if I try running the code again, just give me a second here. So yeah, now we are getting the output 8, correct output, right? So I'll quickly explain what I have done here. Utils.js, this file here, this one, basically this defines utility functions. And what is app.js file doing? This is importing add function from the utils, right? So this imports only add. Unused code subtract is removed in production. So the unused code subtract, this one we are not making use of it, this one, right? So unused code subtract, this one will be or is removed in production, right? So this is what this is. This is about the named versus default imports. So next, let's try to understand the same thing with the dynamic imports, right? So util.js will remain same. So what I'll do, let's make use of the async function, right? I'll just give here async function load math. I'll just take the function name, consider the function name load math. Instead, inside this function, let me consider the variable math. Let me give await import of utils.js. So let me give the complete file name. So here, let me log something. So I have considered math, right? We already have the add function. So what shall I do? Here, let me give math.add of let me call this one. Let's consider two numbers 5 and 10. So here, let me call the function load math, right? So this is the example for the dynamic import. We have imported the utils.js. We don't have to write import suddenly, right? So we are just making use of async function inside which we have considered the variable name math, and we are importing this one utils.js file dynamically by making use of async and await as well. So we are just logging math.add. This one add function is coming from the utils file, basically this one. So while I log 5, 10, and we have to get the output 15, right? Along with this, we are calling the function outside. So let me try running the code. So yeah, we are getting the output 15. You can clearly see. So quickly I'll explain what I have done here. Basically, what this does. So dynamic, while we make use of the dynamic imports, so this reduces the initial load time by importing only on demand, right? So we can clearly see this reduces initial load time by importing only on demand, right? So this is how the dynamic imports are helpful. So we saw the module resolution as well as the tree shaking, uh, this one, tree shaking concept. So I hope the concept of module resolution as well as the tree shaking is completely clear. So next we will discuss about the event loop and optimization techniques. So for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.